Okay, so welcome everybody to our sharing today. Today is Tuesday, the 4th of May, and I'm very happy to be here again with my friend Muriel to share with you our love of essences. So,
good morning.
Hello, Muriel, and thank you for being here for everybody again with your lovely foxgloves.
In the background, yes.
So, we're very drawn to be sharing in this way with you at the moment. Especially at a time when nature here in the Northern Hemisphere is coming back to life. If you are watching here with us live, we'd love you to join in the conversation with us. If, of course, you're not here live, that's absolutely okay. And we'd love to hear your sharings as well, if you'd like to, when you watch the replay. So with our My Body, My Wisdom course coming up in the next 10 days or so, we're tuning in ourselves to the different aspects that are relevant for all of us right now. And today we would like to share with you a little bit about connectedness and what that means in all different ways. It's going to mean different things to different people. And so we're going to show you some flowers for that. Is there anything you'd like to share at the beginning, Muriel, before we begin?
Yes, I mean, I think that it's lovely to explore with you what connection means to you and when do you feel connected and when you don't. And that connection can be to yourself, your body, other people, nature. When do you feel cut off and when do you feel connected, and how can you help yourself? And I suppose that what we'd like to show is that, yes, certainly our experience is that essences help us to feel connected when we are disconnected. Yeah. So that's what that is there. Yes.
So we want to introduce you to the flowers as well and to the elementals. So often, personally, I find, and I think you agree, Muriel, it's nice to actually see them. And we've got a very special 4 that have come along today. So we're going to share them with you via a small presentation. And then also talk about it as well. So let me just begin this so that we can actually start sharing the energy with you. So let me just get this happening. There we go. So our sharing is very much, the foundation of it is what we were drawn to share with you at this moment is about connecting back to our bodies, and within our bodies contain all the wisdom of the universe. Anything you want to share about that? That's certainly how I see it, Muriel.
Yeah,
excuse me.
Absolutely. I was reflecting on what you were saying. I'm quite pensive today. Something I've taken essences made me feel quite relaxed, actually, and quite quiet. But certainly for me, maybe that's about the experience, is that I really feel that in some ways, in order to be able to listen to our body, we need that inner quietness. And yes, I'm with you. I love how you described it. Yes. And how, in a way, we've mentioned it like a part of it, but it's a complete part of us, isn't it? It's like it's a whole. Nothing is separate. And how, if we can treat this body as a sacred temple, how is an amazing measure of how we are overall. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It is, absolutely. And Maria is with us here again. So hi, Maria. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
So we're drawn to sharing with you as well 4 ranges of essences, which are also the focus of our My Body, My Wisdom course. So we're going to share with you today 4 essences from the Batch range, from the Australian Bush range, from the Moonflower range, and the Atlantic Essence range. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So give you a little overview, because we're both come from a tradition, if you like, of working with different essence ranges, and each essence range has its own vibration, and at different times we may be called to different ranges.
Absolutely. Yes, and different energies as well. So yes, we are not static, are we? And different times, different needs, different attractions, I suppose. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you're going to experience that. Oh, that's our wish anyway, that you experience that. So, Muriel, would you like to talk about this part? I think it's your expertise,
Okay.
isn't it?
Do you feel it is?
Yes, I do.
So I'll read it with my French accent and you'll understand me. Thanks God that you got the presentation there. Anyway, at a time where we have to find other ways to communicate with one another, never has connection felt more valuable and crucial to our overall well-being. As part of our journey, we will focus on how everything is linked, how everything has an impact, how we are all interconnected. So thank you for saying what you say, Sarah. I think I love anything to do with communication because I feel we've never been that able to communicate, via social medias, via, tools such as we use, which are wonderful. But I'm a real lover of communicating from the heart. And yeah, how do I communicate in that way? And how don't I? And what's the difference? And how do people respond and feel the difference? So when I am in my heart, in my body, and I communicate in a clear way to others, and when I am in my head, which nothing wrong with it, but it's a different quality, and there is a disconnection sometimes. My heart and my head may be separate, at this point. And so I will communicate from a different way. So yeah, I think it is my passion, communication, both verbally, but almost more certainly. And that's why I love connecting with the subtlety of flowers and nature and animals. They are great guides for me, because I can perceive things in a different way than verbally, and how to use that experience and knowledge that is acquired through this with words. So I think I love to do all of this, and I would not say I'm an expert at all. I'm learning all the time because my communication sometimes feels way off, and yet I'm trying. So that's what we can do sometimes.
Well, that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about
Yeah.
awareness. And yeah, well, I certainly see you as a very beautiful communicator. So,
Oh, thank you. Well, I think we both do that, each in our own way, and a lot of us do it, don't we?
yeah, and that's the lovely thing about the different ranges as well, isn't it? Because they each communicate in a different way.
Yeah.
So, shall we share some of these
Yeah.
amazing beings with everybody? So, let me just bring this back. So, as we said, these are the essences that we're going to share with you today. So, we're going to, not in this order, by the way. So, you're going to see a beautiful Australian rose, which is not like a rose, an English rose. You're going to get a complete and utter wonderful experience with dolphins. So just hang on in there for that. We're going to be looking at the bleeding heart essence and the Star of Bethlehem essence. So let's begin. So very, very first one. When I tuned in today, this is the one. There were several of the batch essences that sort of jumped out at me, but this was the one that wanted to actually come because it's really easy to get hold of. In fact, you might even have it. It's part of the rescue remedy from the batch range, whatever kind of batch essence you have. And Star of Bethlehem is a beautiful being to accompany us whenever there's been any sort of trauma, whether it's happened an hour ago or a year ago or a long, long time ago. It will help us come back into our bodies. It will help us connect back to our bodies because if our premise is, and it's certainly what Muriel and I are feeling, that if we're not in our bodies, then we can't connect back to the universe of wisdom that's in our bodies. So if we are, and many of us are, in fact, probably, well, I can't say all of us are, that would be far too huge a generalization, but we're going through very, very traumatic times right now. So the more that we can ask nature to support us, to anchor us back into the body, is the better. And I love this essence myself. I love it. Do you have experience of it?
Yes, I do. I absolutely adore it. I just love, there is something about that. I love the name, Star of Bethlehem. I think it's really beautiful. And I think it does really reveal a lot of the essence. There is something so pure about it. Maybe it's a white color, but it's just like so strong. A small flower with such absolutely divine power. And I was sharing with you, Sarah, that yes, if there is a shock essence I turn to, and there are many, but I just love going to this one. Absolutely love it. And yeah, I've got loads of experience with it, and it's helped me a lot, and a lot of people who've come to me. Yes, beautiful.
Yeah, Maria's also sharing that she loves it and uses it a lot with clients. Yeah, it's like such an easy essence to use and so easy to get hold of. So if you only ever had one essence, this would be such a useful one to help you at all times.
Totally agree with you, actually.
So over to you. I love this essence, but I know.
So I would love to hear as well from you why you love it so much. But it's Sydney Rose, which, as you said, is from Australia. It's actually a very special essence to Ian White, who co-created that essence, co-created with nature. And it's, I believe, from what I heard, is that it was the favorite flower of his grandma, who had a massive influence in his life. Ian tends to say that rather than going to school when he was young, he was in the bush with his grandma learning about nature, you know. So it has it's pink. It's such an intense pink, isn't it? And we talk of pink as being the love vibration. And the message that Ian received from whilst he was preparing the essence is that we are all one, and that in fact that separation that we can feel at once is an illusion. We are all interconnected now. Of course, we are in our bodies and we are individuals, but I think that this is helping us to connect on a different level. And if you talk about, I hope that makes sense, like the way I would say it, but divine love, then if you feel that love within, you want to share it with others. And he prepared it on the 19th of August 1999. And Ian is strong on numerology, and for him it was a shift in consciousness at that time. And the message is very much about compassion, having compassion and understanding and tolerance with one another, and being able to really want to help one another. And I think that in these times where we are, it's actually crucial. So I don't know what you'd like to share, because I know you've experienced it quite a bit, Sarah.
I have. I don't really think I can say any more than you've already shared, because you've shared Ian's heart around it. I just love to look at this. Every time I see it, I sort of melt into it. Her heart, the color is one of my favorite colors. In fact, I'm almost color matched with today, but it's just the center of the flower. And it's I love kind of sharing visuals of flowers, because they speak to us via the visual, and it's just, I want to get inside that flower and stay there.
Yes, it feels really nurturing, doesn't it? And very safe, a safe space as well, I feel. A safe, loving, nurturing space.
In fact, I went to get some Sydney Rose just not so long ago and discovered that my bottle was completely empty and I hadn't used it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I need to order some, actually. Often I think when an essence is in need, I don't know if you've experienced this, but bottles spontaneously empty themselves.
Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. Yeah, I've experienced that too, actually.
It's like, where did that go?
Yeah, where did it go?
Where did it go? Yeah, so such a beautiful essence that's made, well, actually all today, all of what we're sharing are my favorites. Actually, I don't think I could choose one that wasn't. So, and look at the color of this. It's the same color.
Totally amazing.
So this is Bleeding Heart. It's made by different ranges. It's an example of moonflower essences. The Alaskan essences also make beautiful moonflower essences. The thing that I think I'd like to talk about today is its shape. And with flower essences, we often use what's called the doctrine of signatures. And this is, of course, a beautiful heart shape. If we were to look at sort of the textbook stuff around it, it's all about grief and helping a broken heart. And of course, it can help with that. The reason I chose it today was that I often find that most of our own disconnect with ourselves and therefore with others is when our own internal energies, and I would kind of explain them as our inner feminine, which is our quiet, listening, intuitive side, and our inner masculine, which is the more dynamic, yang, go do stuff kind of energies, when they're not talking to each other. And we end up not being compassionate with ourselves within our own hearts. We judge ourselves, so therefore we get judgmental with others. And yeah, we're not at one in our own heart. So for me, this is, and I'm sure you agree, Muriel, it's always an inside job. So if you're in grief, this is a beautiful essence. But sometimes it's not about the external grief. It's about the grief that can be held in our hearts because we're not in love with ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's about allowing that compassion back into our own hearts for ourselves, first and foremost, and then we've got half a chance of spreading it into the world. In fact, more than half a chance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Maria's sharing some amazing things there about it as well. Thank you, Maria, for sharing. It's helpful for everybody. So yes, kind of send it in. I think it's a nice example of how essences can be used. So it's a very similar vibration to Sydney Rose, but it's different.
It is. It is.
So whichever one feels to you is the one to go to. Is there anything you'd like to share, Muriel?
Yeah, no, I mean, as you said yourself, it's just like, I think you said everything I feel. I just love, as you explained, the doctrine of signature. It's just like absolutely stunning, this heart shape, but also, you know, you could feel that part is almost like a tear coming down, and it's a great release for the grief, because as we know, is like, you know, when we've had a good cry, we can feel better. It's like something has been let go of, or it's very healing. But yes, and there is a lot of grief around at the moment, you know. Maybe individually and also globally. So I think it's also very pertinent. But I also love while you've chosen it today, or what she's chosen you today. It's always that, isn't it? We know it's a two-way process. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So deep breaths as we go through this. So we're now on to the finale. So I'm going to hand over to you here, Muriel, because again, this is I love this energy, but I think it's yours to share.
Okay, well, I mean, you know, so this one is an animal essence from the Atlantic Essences, so my range. It's called Dolphin Together. It really came to me today like, yes, you speak of connection and interdependence in a way, interconnection. And it felt like it was jumping out, like these beautiful dolphins are doing. It was co-prepared with my sister and niece in Brittany. and we were on a boat, and a dolphin pod came to see us. And so my sister started the process of preparing an essence. It was my first time I saw dolphins, so I wasn't thinking about essences. I was like, oh, wow. But then Frederick started, and my niece as well. And then they went into the water to be with the dolphin, and I just stayed on the boat with a bowl of water. And I really felt there were two beautiful dolphins that came by the boat, and I really felt like, please come with us. We want to be part of this, which was quite incredible. I really heard them. So I went, and the essence was completed there in that process. And really the message is about, actually I need to read it because, you know, I forget what I know. It's about interconnection, but it is time to gather. Together we are strong. We go in the same direction, know exactly our individual contribution to the whole, and perform it with total consciousness, aliveness, lightness, and sheer inner knowing and determination. We are all part of a collective consciousness. So yes, so it's what was amazing to observe the dolphin. It was a big pod. They were, you know, they were fishing. They wanted food. But actually, what was amazing is to see them under this amazing water, each in their direction, yes, but always so at ease with their element and so at home and never hurting one another. And when these two dolphins were in front of the boat, they were absolutely next to each other, and they became like one. It was quite incredible to witness, you know. So yeah, so yes. Would you like to say something? What attracts you to it, Sarah?
Well, I've used your dolphin essence actually. I bought it from you years ago and I really loved it. I can remember feeling some big shifts within myself, just a little bit like I was talking about with the bleeding heart, just feeling more unity in my own heart and therefore more compassion for myself and more calmness. I had more of an intuitive connection to what was going on. And I can't remember what that was because it was a while back, but I do remember the feeling. I haven't seen dolphins and I would love to. I would absolutely love to. And I think it's so special that you are sharing them here.
Thank you. Well, your dream will come true then.
Yeah.
I thank my sister for it and my niece, because it would not have been my experience neither, you know. So, I'm more a wood person than a water person, so it's thanks to them. So that's why for me it's also part of that essence that actually we receive so much from giving to one another.
And with it being a water essence, it's all about feeling as well, isn't it? So
Yes.
it just helps us to feel, which
Well.
again, coming back to the Star of Bethlehem method, as we come more into our bodies, we can feel more deeply. So Eliana's just here.
Oh, that's lovely.
And just here in time to hear about the dolphins. So we have one more special thing for you. So let's go. A little treat for you, shared by Muriel.
Alors ça, c'est donc ce qu'on appelle les taches T1, spotted dolphin. Hein, voilà, il y a plein de petits bébés.
So, wasn't that fun?
Thank
you for sharing that video, Muriel. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah. Beautiful joy. Beautiful joy.
Yes, it's joyful. There is something about seeing the dolphin that is joyful. There is no doubt. They still want to communicate with us. I think that's what's amazing as a wild animal, you know.
Yeah, so we hope that you have connected to yourself. Yes, it is beautiful to see the dolphins by being with us here today. If you have enjoyed the energy and would like some deep and more intimate connection with a group of women who are coming together starting May the 16th, then we would love to welcome you to our My Body, Your Wisdom, My Body, My Wisdom program. We'll pop the link up for you to see. We'd appreciate your sharing for the collective of the planet, and just allowing ourselves to be more in touch with our own selves, in touch with each other in ways that we're not able to do that right now because of the situation. And social media is great, but it's not the same as being together with a group of women sharing their hearts, is it, Muriel?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. So, yes, I see it. It's amazing. Like, since you and I, Sarah, have started this, and even coming online here, I just feel some energy coming up and our own journey with it. And so my wish is that this journey can be shared with you, who will join us, and that, together we will create what's needed for us.
Absolutely. So we begin on May the 16th. So we think it's great value, and we hope that you will too. If you are already au fait with essences, just like we are, then you can just dive deep into your own heart and be supported. If you're newer to essences, that's okay too, because it's about sharing.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not about what we know and what we don't know. It's about allowing nature to support us. So thank you, Muriel, for again joining me today. And for those of you who've joined us live, Maria and Eliana, for those of you who watch the replay, I know you will love it. Thank you for joining us. And once more, if you want to know more about our program, just check the links that are attached to this video. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Muriel. Bye-bye.
Sarah.